What's up guys, Christos here and welcome back for another video. Now today's video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and as you can see from the title, which should say Christos Fellas Exposed, basically what I'm going to be doing is taking the chance to actually answer some of your guys' questions, a little bit about me as a person, my life, my business and my investments and stuff like that. One of the main reasons that I am filming this video is because this YouTube channel has just hit 5,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. And one thing that I'm going to be doing later on in this video is actually announcing a competition so you can win some Amazon gift card vouchers, so stay tuned for that. But of course, just before we do get started, I would just like to personally give a massive thank you to anybody that is watching this video. So if you are even seeing this one, thank you so much for supporting this channel. I didn't even think when I first started I would even be able to get to 100, 200 subscribers. But yeah, just a massive thank you to anybody that has either watched, liked, commented, or just generally engaged across not just YouTube, any of my other social media platforms over the past 2.5, 3 years. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. So a massive thank you. Alright, so let's expose the real Christos. What I've got down here is some questions about my personal life. I've got some business related questions as well. And then I have also got some questions about personal finance and investing and stuff like that. Thank you to everybody that did ask me a question on either my Facebook group or my Instagram profile. What I'm going to do is get into them now. I've got them all written down on my phone, and yeah, let's do it. So starting off with the personal questions, the first one that I got was, you have a foreign name, are you part Greek? Well, I am kind of part Greek. What I actually am is a quarter Cypriot. So my granddad immigrated to the UK when he was about 19. He has unfortunately passed away now, but yes, I'm a quarter Cypriot, and that kind of is where the name comes from. What did you do before you did YouTube? Well, the main thing that I did before I kind of jumped on my YouTube / business journey was I was actually a really keen golfer, and I actually worked at a golf club doing kind of memberships. But one thing that I was really proud of was I was able to get down to a free handicap in golf. And if you kind of know golf and stuff like that, that is obviously quite a good thing to do. Well, I think so anyway. And I actually had aspirations of being a professional one day, but obviously things didn't work out, and I'm kind of glad for that now, because I absolutely love what I'm doing now. I did actually have a question here from somebody that I used to play golf. When was the last time you actually played golf? Well, one of the things that I used to do quite a lot in the winter time was I was going down the driving range a lot, but actually going out onto a golf course and playing, it's been at least about 2 years. What was your childhood like? A lot of entrepreneurs come from tough backgrounds and humble beginnings. Were you the same? Well, I'm actually going to be completely honest with you guys here, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I did come from a tough background. I was actually brought up extremely well by two really great parents. My dad still is, an extremely hard worker, and it always gave me everything that I needed in life. So yeah, I'm not going to say that I made it all from nothing, but one thing I will say is that my dad really did ingrain in me that you had to work hard if you wanted to get anywhere in life, and being able to see him work hard with his job and stuff like that has really kind of rubbed off on me as well, I personally believe. One thing I will say though is that out of everybody in my family, I think I am the only one that has kind of gone down the entrepreneurship route. Everyone else has kind of had a normal job and stuff like that, but no idea where that come from, but here we are. How do you find the time to relax when you are doing so many different things? If so, what do you do? Well, to be honest with you, when you are kind of working on a business, you are filming YouTube videos, you're researching stocks to invest in, obviously a lot of my week does get kind of taken up by that. But one thing I have to say is everything that I do, I absolutely love doing, and I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't love it. In terms of the things that I do away from all of that, completely disconnecting all of it, I do play PlayStation quite often. I do like to try and go and play golf if I could, maybe go to the driving range. I do love watching football. I love watching a series on Netflix, absolutely loving Billions at the moment, even though that isn't on Netflix in the UK. But yeah, just the kind of normal things that people do just to chill out. Nothing kind of ridiculous or anything like that. I do try and find some time to chill out every single week. I normally set Sundays as my day to do absolutely nothing, although I do still kind of reply to DMs and maybe do the odd coaching call here and there. Who are your 3 biggest inspirations of all time? Core, that is a tough one. So number one, actually easy one, I'd have to say is my dad. There is no way I'd be sitting here if it wasn't for him. He completely inspires me to work the way that I do, just with his work ethic and stuff like that. So he is a massive inspiration of mine and probably the easiest decision to make. Number two is definitely going to be Warren Buffett. If you didn't know who Warren Buffett is, the most famous investor of all time. And another fun fact, we are actually born on the same day, 30th of August, put it in your calendars. And yeah, that basically makes us related, right? But he is a massive inspiration, especially on the investing side. And then a very common one that everyone has probably heard of, I'd have to say, is Gary Vaynerchuk. He pretty much inspired me to start a YouTube channel. And when things on my YouTube channel has been down and stuff like that, I would always go to Gary V's videos and stuff like that. And that just kind of sets me on the right path. I know it's kind of a common one that everyone kind of says, but for me, he really did make an impact in my life in terms of kind of work ethic as well, and just kind of working for the long term. So my dad, Warren Buffett, and Gary Vee, three different people there in three different kind of sectors of my life that has really inspired me. Where is Bobby the dog? We need him in more of the videos. One sec. Bobby! Sit down. Sit down. Good boy. High five. How have you coped throughout this pandemic, and how do you stay motivated during tough times? That is a very, very good question. One thing I have to say is I have been one of the lucky ones during this pandemic. I've definitely been a lot more fortunate than others, simply just because of my work and my lifestyle that I lead anyway. So I'm very, very grateful that obviously when I was working full time, my job was fully at home and stuff like that. My business can be done all from home as well. And I'm actually quite a homely person, so it hasn't affected me as much as others, but of course it has affected me in terms of how I have coped with those times where you're just sick of it. Number one, I try not to watch the news. That always puts me down. Number two, I just try and focus on doing the things that I can do. So I have to say, at the start of this year, PlayStation has been a massive kind of help for me. Being able to go online and socialize with people on there whilst having a bit of fun as well has been a massive plus. But just in terms of the tough times, in terms of my business and stuff like that, very much I do listen to a lot of podcasts and motivational kind of podcasts and stuff like that. Obviously Gary Vee is somebody that has got me through this quite well in terms of just kind of keeping a level head and looking at the long term. But yeah, that's kind of how I've really coped with it. I've just kind of focused on my work, had the belief that life will get back to normal, and fingers crossed things are actually starting to head that way. Oh, this is a fun one. Would you rather a supercar, mega yacht, or private jet? Wow. If you were to go back kind of 3 or 4 years, I would have said I wanted them all because that was the type of person I was back then. Now I probably wouldn't take any of them. I'd rather just take money to invest or something like that. But probably out of the three, I would probably have to say private jet, only because that would be able to get me to a lot of nicer destinations a lot quicker and stuff like that. Mega yacht, I'm not really too fussed about. Supercar would be nice, but I would have to literally have no other money demands to be able to go and spend, let's say 300, 400,000 on a car that I'd probably drive once or twice a week at most. Okay, so that's the personal ones out of the way. Thank you for everybody that asked me questions on that. Let's move on to business and YouTube. And the first question is, what is the best thing about doing YouTube? Wow, where do I even start? There are so many great things about being on YouTube. Number one, of course, is kind of growing a brand, building a community. The second thing is definitely the creative process. I can't tell you how kind of passionate I've got on camera equipment, editing software, microphones. I've absolutely loved that. Lighting, I've just ordered brand new lighting to come today. So that side is really good. And of course you can make money from it as well. Out of all of the different kind of benefits, I would definitely say it's the process, being able to look back and see when I was on 100 subscribers. Definitely like the comments that I get. I have to say, like, there's been some comments that has almost kind of had me in tears. They've been been that nice. The fact that I have been able to kind of change someone's life in a weird way is just like so much better than any kind of business sale that I've made. And it just makes me feel like I've got a purpose in life. That's what I was looking for. It really does give me a purpose being on YouTube, and it's something that I wouldn't change for the world. Just staying on the YouTube topic here, what camera do you use for YouTube, and would you recommend it for a beginner? So the camera that I use currently is a basic camera really. It's a Canon M50. It costs about £500, which is relatively cheap for a camera. But when I first started on YouTube, probably for the first 700, 800 subscribers, I was using either my phone or I did borrow a camera from a colleague at work and a friend of mine. Shout out Simon Johnson for lending me that camera. He always kind of holds that against me, says that he started my YouTube career. But for me as a beginner, I would just recommend using whatever you do have. It would be more than good enough, especially if you have like an iPhone or a high-end Android. And then maybe set yourself a goal that once you have started kind of making some videos and you realize that you do enjoy it, then invest in a better camera, because you definitely don't want to go out and buy all the equipment and realize that you absolutely hate filming videos. So yeah, I would recommend this one to a beginner, obviously if you do have the budget, but other than that, just use a camera that you already have. How much does YouTube get in the way of your day-to-day business? Well, this is actually something that does get quite in the way. I definitely can say to you, if I didn't do YouTube and stuff like that, I would make a lot more money on my business, but that is very much my own fault. I am currently doing everything as a one-man band at the moment on YouTube, and I could definitely probably outsource some of that so I could focus more on my business and stuff like that. But once again, it's something I absolutely love doing and would be happy to exchange that kind of money to be able to sit here and film videos. So answer to that question is yes, it does, but I don't really mind. How do you deal with YouTube haters? Well, to be honest with you, touch wood, this is something that I haven't really experienced too much of in the 2.5 years, but I think that very much is because I am a smaller creator. But I have had nasty comments throughout the time, and basically the way that I deal with them is very much I believe that if you're having to leave a nasty comment on someone's YouTube video, you are definitely not happy in your own life. So I do kind of feel sorry, or maybe have some empathy for those kind of people. But other than that, I just try to ignore it. I know when I signed up to be on YouTube, it was all going to be part of it. And I definitely say that the good comments always outweigh those negative ones. Do you still sell on Amazon? Yes, I do still sell on Amazon. I did think I just mentioned it. It is my day-to-day business that I spend at least, I would say, 30 hours a week working on and stuff like that. I just haven't spoke about it as much on my YouTube channel, but I am very much selling on Amazon more than I ever have, and I am absolutely still loving it. If you could change one thing about reselling on Amazon, what would it be? For me, I would like to eliminate all of the competition and just have me as the only seller on Amazon. That would be quite nice. No, but on a serious note, I probably have to say, obviously, Amazon support isn't great, and always feeling on the edge that you might get suspended as a seller and just have that income taken away from you. I'd probably say if I could change one thing, it would be that. All right, so that's the business and YouTube-y ones out of the way. I did mention that I was doing a giveaway in this video, so here it is. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is giving away a £50 Amazon voucher to one of you guys, and all you have to do is say a random word in the comments. Let's think of one right now. Let's go for Dr. Pepper 0. If you put that in the comments down below, what I'm going to do is pick a random winner and announce it next week on my YouTube channel in the community, so make sure you are subscribed as well so you don't miss that. Also, all of the people that have asked a question as well, do not worry about commenting if you don't want to. You have automatically been added into this competition as well. So Dr. Pepper 0 in the comments down below, and I will enter you into the competition. All right, so next up is investing. So I've got a couple of questions here. Do you think there will be a stock market crash this year? Now, just like I always say in all of my videos, no one is an expert on this topic. Me personally, I don't think there'll be a crash like there was in 2008, 2009 time, but I do think there will be a correction at some point this year. I don't think that the stock market can keep going up with the kind of effects that we have had over the last year or so. Yeah, I don't think it's going to crash like it would. And to be honest with you, if it did have a correction, that would be a really good opportunity for me to load up on some more of the stocks that I currently hold at like a sale price. Name one stock you are most excited to be big potentially in the future. Well, I actually made a video about last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, depending on when you're watching this, about Disney stock. I personally think that Disney stock is going to blow up in the future. Without going too much into kind of detail, Disney, in my opinion, has managed to survive the last year with everything that has gone on with one of their main kind of revenue streams being shut, which is their theme parks. Obviously, they've now got Disney Plus as well. And I think that Disney Plus will eventually take over Netflix, and I think that the stock price will reflect on that as well. So for me, I'm loading up on Disney stock now, just approaching it with the mindset of holding it for at least kind of 6 or 7 years in the future and seeing where it goes. What is your end goal with your investments? Now, I did mention on a YouTube video that I do have a shorter term goal, which is to get to a portfolio worth £100,000 by April 2023. But my long-term goal really for my investments is just to build financial freedom and never ever have to worry about spending money in the future. And I'm just talking about going out for a meal, doing really simple things and never having to worry about looking at my bank account, because I know that I have invested in the past, to build that financial future, maybe for future kids as well. That is very much my goal. I have no kind of ambitions to be, like I said, flying around on private jets or anything, although that would be nice, and if that did ever happen, I wouldn't definitely wouldn't turn it down. But very much the goal for me is just to be financially free and just live a life of freedom and happiness. All right, so that is the end of the questions. I just want to say thank you once again to anybody that did ask me a question. I really do appreciate it. Of course, if you have commented and entered that competition, make sure you do if you haven't already. Remember, Dr. Pepper Zero in the comments down below. But once again, guys, thank you so much for 5,000 subscribers. I'm hoping to do a video like this when I hit 10,000, and hopefully that maybe even happen this year. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you've made it this far, hit the like button if you did enjoy it, and I shall catch you in the next one. Take care.